Hey, it's being us about movies. Are you surprised? You picked this probably, right? Anyway, Nashville Girl from 1976.
All right, there's a take.
Building blocks, one on top of the other.
Nashville Girl. At 16, Jamie grabbed her guitar, ran away from home, thinking all you need's a good voice and talent. Nashville taught her different. The story of her climb to the top and the price she pays to get there.
On top of our building blocks of love.
I'm going to Nashville.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Sure, and I'm 120. So, what's in Nashville?
Did you see that guitar? She's gonna be the next Tanya Tucker, ain't she?
I don't know about... No! Let me out! You gotta let me out!
Please, asshole! What the hell's going on?
Yes, son. She don't look 18 to me.
Are we having a little party, are we, huh?
Hey is all the little things you do.
See, I was born to be with you.
C is the caring for all the world to see.
D is devotion between you and me. There are only two things I'm sure of. I can't go home again. And more than anything, I want to make it in this town.
How old are you?
I'll be 17 next week.
Oh, my God.
Get out of bed, get dressed, and get out of here. Now, hurry up. Jesus Christ. If anybody knows that I screwed a 16-year-old...
And you're going to work for me and you're going to f me until I tell you you're finished.
I want to become what the public thinks I am.
You mean you want your virginity back?
Melody Mason.
Underage in the undergrowth of the country music jungle, she reached the top, but she paid the price with her body. To make it in the music business, she had to make it with the music business.
Hold on tight, baby, let me take you. Baby, let me make you fly so high off the ground. Don't let go. We've got to try to keep this feeling we found. Said you're ready, come on, be my eagle, come and fly.
Monica Gale, Glenn Corbett, Roger Davis, Jesse White, and Johnny Rodriguez.
You darling, more and more.
Nashville Girl.
I discovered this movie thanks to Joe Bob Briggs' How Rednecks Saved Hollywood. The clips he showed were breathtaking. There's no way the actual movie could live up to his speech about the film, right? Nope. It completely lives up to everything he said it was and more. Director Gus Tricana started his career as a dancer in West Side Story, playing Indio, one of the sharks. When you're a shark, I guess you're a shark for life because you're a jet for life. His directing work for Roger Corman's New World Pictures led to Corman claiming he's one of the best young directors he'd ever worked with. His films run the gamut of exploitation. The Side Hackers, The Swingin' Barmaids, Supercock, The Evil, Moonshine County Express, Take This Job and Shove It. He was married to Goldie Hawn in the 70s, right? Monica Gale from The Stewardesses and Switchblade Sister stars as Jamie, Nashville Girl. The film also played her title New Girl in Town, which I feel like I should sing, like New Girl in Town, and Country Music Daughter, an attempt to convince people. I didn't have a stroke there, I swear. A Country Music Daughter, an attempt to convince people that it has something to do with the Loretta Lynn's bio coal miner's daughter. She'll do anything to make it to Nashville after leaving town when she's assaulted by her boyfriend and abused by her dad. It doesn't get any better in Music City, trust me. Somehow this movie goes from jailbait to In Trouble to massage parlor receptionist to the women in prison to young girl getting pawned by every man in town in short order, ending with her under the thrall and ownership of big-time country star Jeb Glenn Corbett of Route 66, enduring the attentions of Kelly Roger Davis from Ruby and Killer Bees. Judith Roberts shows up, and this is Jeb's long-suffering wife. She's going to star in things like Orange is the New Black, but we know her best as Mary Shaw in Dead Silence. At least I do. Singer Johnny Rodriguez, songwriters Rory Bork, Gene Dobbins, and John Willis all show up here and contribute music. None of this makes Nashville look like a great city to live in or be a rising female artist within. There are many Me Too moments in 5 minutes of this movie than pretty much every other movie Hollywood released this year. It gets to the point you honestly worry about Monica Gale's personal mental health. She might change her name to Melody Mason and get a whole new life story, but she can never escape the past that got her here. Somehow there's a novel that has even more sex in it. It's written by Gary Friedrich, who co-created Ghost Rider. So there's that. Hey, we're talking truck era culture stuff, right? Let's talk about what comes around from 1985. As a kid, no illusions. I knew I was not growing to grow up to be Burt Reynolds. I probably was going to grow up to be Dom DeLuise or larger. But my heart of hearts, heart of hearts, kind of was hoping I grew up to be Jerry Reed. Always the dependable, no-nonsense friend. Always the dependable, no-nonsense friend. This is the first and only movie Jerry Reed would direct. That alone is a reason to talk about it. It's easy to think of Jerry Reed as an actor, but there's so much more. Despite spending 7 years of his childhood in orphanages and foster homes after his parents' divorce, Jerry started writing and selling songs while he was still in his teens. His unique finger-picking technique still imitated by all manner of guitarists, and he wrote and played session guitar for most of Elvis's late 60s and early 70s releases. He also enjoyed a fruitful collaboration with Chet Atkins. They composed the theme for The Benny Hill Show, Yakety Sax, together. I'm mind-blown by this, as well as crossing over the mainstream with hits like When You're Hot, You're Hot. Soon the country star was appearing on the new Scooby-Doo movies and getting into movies himself with his pal, Burt Reynolds. Starting with 1974's WW and the Dixie Dance Kings, Reynolds and Reed would make a fine comedy duo, appearing in movies like Gator, Highballin', Hot Stuff, and all 3 of the Smokey and the Bandit films. They are the Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill of America, or is it the other way around? Who can say? Reed's role in this film comes just 1 year after opening for Dexy's Midnight Runner. Reed's role in this film comes 1 year after he finished his last tour opening for Dexy's Midnight Runners. Come On, Eileen, a tandem which sets off fireworks inside my mind. Reed plays Joe Hawkins, a country singer who has been on the road for decades and is feeling it. The road will own you. He's basically held together with a cocktail of pills and booze. He's got the rattlers. We say, oh man, it's a joke like 3 people get. Me being one, there's like 2 other people if you're out there laughing.
Hello, Ghost of Carolyn D. Fonseca here, back from a lovely tour of the second circle of hell, the world of lust. I met Semiramis, the Carthaginian queen Dio and Cleopatra, as well as Achilles, Paris, Helen of Troy, and Tristan. It was wonderful. Oh yes, this joke. The rattler is what some pro wrestlers call a fanny bag filled with pills, as it sounds like a rattlesnake as they walk around, shaking up all their somas and perks. You know, dolls. You should hear Sam at night. I've forgotten how to sleep without dolls. I can't get through a day without a doll. It's sad, really.
His brother Tom is Bo Hopkins, who, oh my God, looks exactly like Jerry Reed. I never realized. He's pretty much a stranger from a hero, at odds with the man who really runs Joe's life, his manager, Leon Redden. After Tom and his wife, Sandy, helped Joe dry out, they discover he's been taken for $8 million and help him get his revenge. Artie Johnson shows up too, but revenge. This is a wildly inconsistent film, one that can be a comedy one moment, a tragic family drama the next, and then be a comedy right away, yet it moved quickly. I'm with it the whole way. It's very much a redneck movie, and people do horrible things. And we get them arrested at the least, and they're the heroes in this movie. Also, there's no way to watch Eastbound and Down and not see that the first season, especially how Kenny and his brother Dustin interact together, it is line for line from this movie. It's amazing. Ellie, if there's a Hicksploitation Hall of Fame, Shelley Winters, get on in. I mean, The Night of the Hunters, a great redneck movie. Probably the best movie ever, too. There's more exploitative examples. Bloody Mama, Poor Pretty Eddie. She's a housekeeper, Kathy, who had a space baby sometime in the past, and The Visitor. It's a movie made in Atlanta. Somewhere in the deep south. This is all about barefoot farmers. Our Ellie, Sheila Kennedy. Is it saying too much if I know that she's the December 1981 Penthouse Pet of the Month and the 1983 Pet of the Year? Well, she's getting revenge for her father's murder at the hands of her stepmother, Winters, who killed the kindly old man while she chowed down on some fried chicken.
Nothing does it to me like fried chicken.
She only had one weapon, her body, and she knows how to use it. George Gobel. Eddie Albert, Pat Paulson all shows up in the main thrill. This is its rampant nudity. It's also a movie version of the Greek myth of Electra. Really? Yes, it is. Director Pete Whitman had one other movie to his credit, Play Dead, which a woman, Morticia Adams, kills her with her brain and her dog. It's not great or even good, but it's a kind of movie. If you stayed up late at night on Friday in Cinemax and you were still in puberty, you would love it. If you never did that, you're going to hate it. If you have a near limitless capacity for enduring boring films, not that I would know or anything, if you grew up watching Cinemax After Dark with no sound, it really preps you for a life of the movies that I live now. Anyways, Texas Lightning, Gary Graver, many things, director, editor, screenwriter, cinematographer, and his Robert McCallum, director and cinematographer of 135 adult movies in the AVN Hall of Fame for his work, which includes Amanda by Night, Co-Ed, Fever, Susie, Superstar, and Unthinkable, which won the AVN Award for Best All-Sex Video of 1985. But what he's best remembered for today is his work in Orson Welles' final cinematographer, spending most of his life working on the master's long unfinished film, The Other Side of the Wind, the story which you can find out in the movie They'll Love Me When I'm Dead. Also, I'm going to take a step back because I like saying porn titles. Other winners of Best All-Sex Video include Co-Ed Teasers, that was the first AVN, Ballbusters, Wild Things, Babyface 2, and Angel Puss.
Hello, I'm a Corvus celestial person from outer space. My real name is Cookie Puss, but my friends call me CP. I'm a Carvel ice cream cake, and I make fresh daily at participating Carvel ice cream stores. Yeah.
Cookie Puss will be at your participating Carvel ice cream stores. Please visit them. Or if you call this toll-free number, you can send Cookie Puss to a friend. And that brings us to the 90s. Is this taking it too far? Is this taking the bit too far? Yeah. Hello, Molly came out, and then what's amazing is for 2 years in a row, Buttman's Ultimate Workout won, and is Madison Stone and Patricia Kennedy in that movie? Maybe.
Sodomania, bend over, baby. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Realities too. The Bottom Dweller. Man, you could do your own research. This is the only time I'd say it's okay to do your own research. Gary Graver, well, in 1970, he made an unannounced pitch to work with Wells, who told Graver the only person who pitched him this way was the legendary Greg Toland, who'd worked with Citizen Kane. To quote Variety from that day forward, Orson Welles is a central figure in Gary Graver's life. More important than his wife, his children, his bank account, and his health. The rest of Orson's life and his own, Graver belonged to the great director. In fact, Wells even edited several of Graver's adult films so that Graver could get back to the business of working on films. There's a scene in the movie 3 a.m. It's a sapphic scene, and Orson Welles did not direct it, but he edited it. Graver's career is all over the place. Sure, he worked on movies that the art house could swoon over, like Cassavetes' A Woman Under the Influence and Wells' F for Fake, one of my favorite movies of all time. But he also had grindhouse pleasing fairness resume, like The Toolbox Murders, The Trick or Treats, Mortuary, They're Playing with Fire, and Satan's Status. Originally, this movie was going to be a serious drama entitled The Boys, but the producers demanded Graver re-edit as a comedy. Those producers were FVI, Film Ventures International, The Maniacs Who Brought You Beyond the Door, Grizzly, Day of the Animals, The Dark, The Visitor, The Incubus, Pieces, Great White, and many more amazing films. They also released Anthropophagus as The Grim Reaper, and Bob Ashaka is Behind the Door 2. They also released stuff like Stunt Rock and The Force Beyond. By 1984, the company almost bankrupt due to Universal suing them over the similarity of Great White to Jaws. That could be bullshit. But more likely, the poor box office performance of Mutant. Well, Edward Montoro, the owner, took $1 million from the company's bank account and vanished, never to be seen again. I told you all this to tell you the story of Texas Lightning, one of the most confusing movies I have ever seen. Carl Stover, Cameron Mitchell is a macho truck driver who feels like his son Buddy is too soft, so he takes him on the road. The fact that the son, played by real-life child Cameron Jr., only adds to the gravitas. Also, you've never lived and seen Cowboy Cameron Mitchell. Buddy soon falls in love with the first girl he meets, a barmaid named Faye, played by Maureen McCormick, yes, from the Brady Bunch. Not her first redneck go-round. She was one of the Hammer sisters in Moonshine Kind Express. Opposite John Saxon is the kung fu fighting stock car driver. Keep in mind when you watch this film that none of the painted characters on the poster are actually in the movie. Probably the best movie I've ever seen, where Cameron Mitchell punches the hell out of a truck stop bathroom while trying to explain the facts of life to his son. Seriously, if you watch this hoping for some trucking and womanizing, you're left with the downbeat drama. Despite all Gary Graver could do to re-edit it, I assume this probably ran second or third in drive-ins, so no one complained. Mitchell Jr. ends up going back to his hotel with a barmaid who cons him out of money for his sister's operation before they start making out. This gives his father's friends a license to smash down the door and assault her, which leads to the son wanting revenge. Somehow this movie is a happy ending montage. Was intended as a comedy. How can it be funny when Mitchell holding and hugging and crying over his son while a bunch of cowboy hat wearing sweat stains have a gang team up on Marsha Brady? Your guess as good as mine. Produced by Jim Sotos, who directed Sweet 16 and Forced Entry, also known as The Last Victim, the R-rated remake of Sean Costello's adult film with the same name, starring Tanya Roberts and Nancy Allen as Laura Canyon, Ruby Runhouse, and Nina Fawcett. The latter two were two transient hippies who let their life be used for filming as long as they could be in the film. They ended up so high in mescaline that their scene took 5 hours to shoot of all the Harry Reams movies. It's the one he says he regrets the most, but that has nothing to do with Moonfire from 1970, directed by Michael Parkhurst, a 1970 effort about truckers battling Nazis in Mexico to rescue a pilot. This millionaire got missing a fortune hidden inside a hull of lettuce, a lost space capsule. Parkhurst also appeared in the 92 film Hot Under the Collar. Everything else on his IMDb page lists him as equipment supplier and tech consultant. I did some research of my own. He was a big supporter of truckers for nearly 5 decades, starting Overdrive magazine and producing the documentary Big Rig for building that aforementioned IMDb resume that includes Duel, Convoy, Moving On, Citizens Band, Smoking, The Bandit, BJ and the Bear, Big Trouble in Little China, Near Dark, and many other movies with trucks. Start with Marty Robbins' song The Wheel of Life. We get ready to enter the big world of truckers, hauling their loads across the highways and byways of our great nation. Richard Egan, top billing, not the star of this he was. However, Rod Serling's original choice to host the Twilight Zone, before contractual issues got in the way of the real star Charles Napier. After a stint in the Army, Napier got in Hollywood by accident. A girlfriend took the square jaw Napier along when she went to audition for Russ Meyer. He was like, yeah, he probably was like, I'm going to kick Russ Meyer's ass. Got there, they ended up becoming friends. And he gave him his dog later. And anyway, he was the male lead in Cherry Harry McKell. In addition to acting and doing a full frontal nude scene, he also had to film the movie, do makeup, drive, and do stunts. After Moonfire, he became a writer and photographer for Overdrive, as well as appearing in Jonathan Deb's Citizen Band. He's also in Silence of the Lambs. And he was Tucker McElroy in the Blues Brothers. Tons of other great stuff. Love Charles Napier. Stunning Liston, heavyweight champion of the world who lost his title to Cassius Clay at 64, appears as another trucker. Liston also lost the rematch to the future Lee in the first round. He died before this movie was released in 1970 of a heroin overdose, but the truth, he was probably murdered and covered up. He also appears in the movies Harlow and The Monkey's Head. I have not done that on the show yet. The bad guys are played by Jose Gonzalez and Joaquin Martinez, who often played stereotypical Mexican bad guys, bad hombres in the days before political correctness, which no longer exists. An article for Overdrive takes note of the fact that the magazine was known not only for strict advocacy on behalf of the independent trucker, but for cheesecake photos of attractive women posing on in and around big rigs. At least one of the Overdrive models is in this movie. The real plot, revolves around a Howard Hughes-like villain satellite intended to be something like Ted Turner's Superstation satellite, or the one SCTV launched into space from Mellonville, and the truckers take a few $1 million hidden amongst the way to Mexico, where evil Nazis try to take them out. There's also a brawl with a motorcycle gang, because as we all know, 2-wheelers hate 18-wheelers, proven fact. If you love trucking, hunting real truckers and truck stop owners in the film, as well as the actual Tucson truck terminal, popular spot, sadly. This movie's about as exciting as driving across Kansas hauling lettuce for 12 straight hours. That said, Parkhurst wrote most of the film himself. Parkhurst himself wrote the film on IMDb, which overjoys me to no end.
My review cannot be taken objectively, inasmuch as I wrote and produced it and directed 95% of it. This was a low-budget movie, first released in theaters in 1972, but it has excellent photography, a good and original musical score with country legend Marty Robbins singing 2 songs off-screen. The film was shot entirely on location in California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico for less than $300,000. Still low budget, even in 1970. Even though it was a low-budget film, several years later, Orion Pictures distributed it for many years on TV, and it got good audience reaction when first released in theaters. The production sound mixer went on to gain 5 Oscar nominations, and an assistant cameraman, Ed Begley Jr., said he never wanted to act. In spite of a good cast, I would rate this film as fair but not bad, especially considering the low budget. It was even a union crew. Leonard Maltin calls this film a bomb and describes the plot as a blackmail plot, but there was no blackmail plot at all. So we know Moulton never saw it and probably relied on the inaccurate summary of some high school dropout to provide the description. It was never released on video until early 1998, and then only in truck stops, where it outsold all other recent hits by far wherever it was displayed, partly due to the fact that all the trucker scenes were technically accurate, and co-star Charles Napier in his first PG film actually learned to drive a tractor-trailer for his role. Sorry folks, no gratuitous violence or sex scenes except a little teaser in the beginning, and no cursing. If I had known that Moulton would provide a completely inaccurate plot summary, I would have put in filthy words and stupid violence in order to elevate Moonfire to the level of all the really inane so-called trucker movies with unbelievable plots.
Thank you, Ghosts of Samantha Eggar. Beautifully said. Do you have a favorite Redneck movie? Let me know. bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. You can come to the site, bnsaboutmovies.com. Thanks for listening.